Welcome to r/Am I the Butthole, where strangers on the internet judge people's deepest insecurities. Am I the butthole for telling my immigrant mother-in-law to stop putting eyeliner on my baby's eyes? My Mill is an immigrant from India. There is an eyeliner from back home that has religious cultural connotations. Basically it's soot and ghee, like butter, mixed together, and it forms a black paste that's applied to the eyes of babies, especially to ward off the evil eye. Because of culture etc. I live with my in-laws and she keeps wanting to put this eyeliner on my baby's eyes, twins. I keep telling her I am not happy with it. I don't want foreign matter in my poor baby's eyes. My husband is also vehemently against this, and he caught his mom doing it when I was at work. He told her off and told her she was shitty because the babies were understandably fussing at the product in their eyes. She is accusing me of whitewashing him and that I'm being a disrespectful daughter-in-law, but I'm just trying to protect my kids. Am I the butthole? 0 out of 5 buttholes. OP, your mother-in-law has no right to force you to allow her to put product on your child. Am I the butthole for not telling my wife that our daughter snuck out to a party late at night? On Sunday at around 3 a.m., I received a call from my 16-year-old daughter Brittany saying that she snuck out of the house and needed me to pick her up. She told me that she was a little drunk and that the friend who drove her left her behind and that more people were showing up at the party and she was uncomfortable. I begrudgingly told her sure and to wait for me somewhere safe. I picked her up and got fast food with her so we could have time to talk without waking up the house. I told her how disappointed I was and that what she did wasn't fair to me since I have to work. She profusely apologized and told me that she wouldn't sneak out of the house again. However, she begged me not tell her mom because she is ridiculously strict with types of things, and I do sympathize with her as she is a teen, so these types of things will happen no matter. I also was afraid that if I told her mom that she would never trust me again and feel like they could be dangerous in case she ever needed help, like now. So things were fine until Monday night when my wife saw a picture of the party on Instagram and Brittany was in it. My wife lost her mind and started to interrogate Brittany about what she was doing, who was there, etc. She got really mad at her and made Brittany cry and go to her room. The problem though was that my wife asked how Brittany got there and back, and she told the truth. Now my wife is infuriated with me for not telling her. She got even more mad when I told her why I didn't. I said that I knew how she would react, that I didn't want to break Brittany's trust, and how protecting her safety, I want her to call me when she's in those situations, was more important than us telling each other everything. She stormed off too, and we haven't really spoken much since then. Am I the butthole? This was a hard situation, OP, I admit. You made a choice that was in the interest of potentially keeping your daughter safe, so it's hard to object to that. 0 out of 5 buttholes for you. Would I be the butthole if I refused to help my daughter pay for her wedding due to the theme? I have a 31-year-old daughter and a 28-year-old son. My son married a few years back. It was a very simple ceremony followed by a small, quaint rehearsal that both my husband and I financially assisted with. Of course, after this our immediate plans were to assist our daughter should she ever marry. She was engaged in May and have discussed something as soon as next year's depending on venues. I was up and set to help any way I could. First, my daughter didn't want to wear a white wedding dress. It was disappointing because my dream was to see her in one day, but overall, I want her comfortable and happy. She wanted the dinner to be all meat entrees despite family members and even her friend being vegan-vegetarian. She also refused any alcohol. I pictured this wedding differently, but again it's hers and I have helped her through everything without judgment. Then this happened. My husband is very patriotic, and that has rubbed off on our daughter. First, she wanted the theme to be America, everything red, white and blue, bald eagle decorations, American flags, and that's what led to the next sub-theme, a certain president. She wants people in attendance to be wearing a red cap with a certain phrase on it. While my husband's side of the family supports our president, my family leans to a different side and I fear they'll be offended. I want my daughter to have her own day, but at the same time I do not want family feuds. I told my daughter she was playing with fire if she involved him in her theme. The red, white and blue theme is fine, but bringing politics into will cause more harm than good. She hasn't budged out. I'm deciding on whether or not to no longer provide financial assistance. I don't approve of what she's doing and don't want to invest my money into it. Would I be the asshole? I'd say 1 out of 5 buttholes for you, OP. I completely understand your logic and that's fine, but it is your daughter's big day. If she's willing to accept that judgment from her family, that's her choice. Am I the butthole for not offering a family heirloom ring to the daughter who got married first? I have two daughters, Claire and Emma, who have never gotten along well. Claire was the rebellious one growing up, hated any type of societal expectations, and Emma was much more conventional. Claire began dating her now husband when she went away to college, and the first time she brought him home my husband was not happy. He had black nail polish and a streak in his hair. I actually had a conversation with my husband about how he can't be such a pompous ass and he's going to drive Claire away. Neither of us like her husband, but we try to bite our tongues. He did not ask my husband for her hand in marriage, and when they told us they were engaged she already had a ring. Emma also met her husband in college and he was much more clean-cut and someone my husband would approve of. Emma's fiancé came to us before he proposed and asked permission. This did endear him more to my husband, and my husband told him that he had a family heirloom ring he had received in his mother's will, and if he wanted to use it for Emma he could. It is a very expensive ring and it was left to my husband on the condition I never wear it. Long story, Mill hated me. He did offer it to me but it didn't feel right. Emma's fiancé accepted the ring and Claire found out and thinks that we punished her for making different choices, being with a man we don't like, and not going along with the sexist tradition. I feel like it was my husband's ring to do what he wanted, and since Claire's husband didn't tell us before he proposed, she already had a ring and we are not playing favorites. Am I the butthole? This is a tricky post OP. I'd say 2 out of 5 buttholes for you, one for choosing favorites with your daughters and another for judging Claire's husband for how he looked. Am I the butthole for telling my daughter to stop bugging me after I never refurbished my life insurance policy? Early in my husband and I's marriage, we got life insurance policies on each other. We also had secondary beneficiaries in the form of my husband's nephews in the unlikely event we both went together. This was pre us having kids, and we always said once we did, we'd switch over the policies. Fast forward 25 years later. We have kids that are 21 and 23. My daughter, 23, made a comment about getting life insurance through her job, so I decided to check on our policy. I hadn't in years. Well, when I did I was surprised to see we had never changed our secondary beneficiaries. They were still my husband's nephews. We totally forgot to change them. I thought it was a little funny, my husband did too. Obviously we're alive and fine. We called the company, started the process to have it changed. My son thought it was funny, my daughter didn't. She said we were irresponsible and didn't think of them. What if we had died? What if the nephews didn't give it up? I said they would be taken care of. They asked if we had a will and I admitted no. But we have so much family that has agreed verbally over the years to take them. It never seemed necessary. Besides, we're alive, our kids are adults. It's all fixed now and we plan to draw a will up. No one was hurt. No one except my daughter. She kept harping on it and frankly it was annoying. Finally I told her, yes it was a bad move on her end but she needs to let it go. She got even more mad. Am I the ass here? Oh my god OP, 0 out of 5 buttholes all the way. Yes you made a silly mistake, but nobody and nothing was harmed. 1 out of 5 buttholes for making the mistake, but 0 out of 5 buttholes in the context of this post. Am I the butthole for not adopting my wife's child? I, a 27-year-old male, used to have a wonderful relationship with the woman I love, a 26-year-old female. However, 5 years ago, she got drunk, had a one-night stand, and got pregnant from it. Can't be mine. I can't have kids due to a horseback riding injury when I was a teen. Didn't get the guy's name, no way to find him, so he's out of the picture. My wife decided to keep it, and we almost went through a divorce, but couples therapy made us decide to try again. We're still in therapy now, since I still have a hard time trusting her. So, she had her son. We talked a lot about it, and I made it clear that I'm okay taking on a step-parent role, but I wasn't willing to fully be his dad. I wouldn't adopt him, but I would help raise him and get him off to college. My wife agreed to this, became a stay-at-home mom so she could take care of him with help from her parents, and I've pretty much been the fun uncle-like guy. I play with him, buy him games, try my best to not resent him, and I am in therapy for this, and mostly just stay out of the way of my wife's parenting. He even calls me uncle, instead of dad. He knows I'm not his father, and is just happy to play video games with me and chill. Well, recently, My wife has started talking about me adopting him, something I'm not willing to do. I made it clear that if anything happened, he would go live with her parents, and I'd send child support. If they couldn't take him, I wouldn't put him in foster care or anything. But I also wasn't willing to take on the responsibility of being his father when I'm not. I'm happy being an uncle to another man's kid, since that's what life threw at me. This has greatly upset her, and she's trying to find a way to force me into adopting him. She's even been manipulating the poor kid, saying he should start calling me dad instead of uncle like he has his entire life, which is upsetting and confusing the poor boy. This situation has worked for the last 5 years, and I don't know why she's trying to change something that isn't broken, or force me into a role I told her years ago I wasn't willing to accept. Which she was fine with until just recently. Am I the butthole? -5 out of 5 buttholes. OP. Your wife cheats on you, has a kid that's not yours. You still live with her, while raising the product of your wife's affair? That's a very honorable thing for you to do, and if you want to set the boundary short of formal adoption, that is perfectly acceptable. You're a human and have feelings too. That was r/am I the butthole. Like and subscribe or 5 out of 5 buttholes for you.